Today's video is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Reduce your ping time and get faster speeds when you game at expressvpn.com/inside. Resident Evil Village officially released last week, and although both critical reception and early sales have been strong, there is one notable person who has a serious issue with the game. Richard Raaphorst, the director, concept artist, and co-writer of a horror movie from 2013 called Frankenstein's Army, is claiming that Capcom has copied his monster design and used it in Resident Evil Village without his permission. Before we carry on with the story, just a quick spoiler warning for a boss fight location and monsters found in Resident Evil Village if you're still making your way through it. Things likely kicked off 2 days after launch when a Twitter thread posted by @acclaim gained some traction comparing the similarities between monsters in Resident Evil Village with the ones in Raaphorst's film. As you can see, 3 of the monsters could be considered a stretch, but one monster in particular is very clearly a match, not only in concept, but a bit in execution as well. The same day the Twitter thread went up, Raaphorst posted on LinkedIn saying his design was used without authorization or credit. In the movie, Frankenstein's Army, a Soviet reconnaissance team during the end of World War II sets out to answer a distress call from an unknown location, which ultimately leads them to a facility ran by a descendant of Dr. Frankenstein who's making steampunk zombies, or zombots, if you will. One of the zombots has a large human figure but with a prop plane engine and propeller for a head. Eventually, the Soviet soldiers take it down, it catches on fire, and then explodes. In Resident Evil Village, Ethan Winters finds himself navigating through a factory setting and encounters a boss called Sturm, which is also a bulky human-like figure with a propeller for a head that eventually catches on fire and then explodes. The similarities are striking, if not damning, for Capcom. Well, actually, if you look close enough, the Resident Evil version of the monster has 3 chainsaws instead of plain old propellers. Jokes aside, these types of things can happen entirely as coincidence. Another scenario, assuming the benefit of the doubt, is a Resident Evil creative saw Frankenstein's Army a while back and was inspired subconsciously or maybe even actively, but somehow failed to realize just how similar the end product was. Regardless, in an interview with Eurogamer, Raaphorst said, "This is just one-to-one, really. Even the environments, the whole color palette, it looks like an animatic for my movie." He added, "It's creative abuse. If they had asked me, hey Richard, we'd love to have your design in our next Resident Evil and we will give you a credit or some kind of royalty payment, I would have been honored and flattered and proud. It would have been a super positive experience." In the Eurogamer interview, Raaphorst explains he'd like credit in the game and he'll be exploring his legal options, but also that he likely won't see any royalties. That's because the creative rights for the movie actually belong to MPI Media Group, which is the American finance and distribution company Raaphorst partnered with to make Frankenstein's Army. At the time of this recording, Capcom has yet to make an official statement publicly in regards to the claims of IP theft, so it should be interesting to see how things play out going forward. Video games historically have kind of loosely borrowed creative concepts and characters from films in the past, but maybe that's all done with now that the medium has such a large audience and computer-generated graphics are used widely across both the film and game industries. But what do you think? Did Capcom steal these monster designs and should they pay up, or is this just a case of coincidence or well-intentioned inspiration gone bad? Let us know in the comments, and thanks for watching.